Good morning. Hear anything?
Not as regularly.
Okay. Any requests? Low back? I'm chilly. Okay, happy Broad Street. I think everyone gets a hands-on assist today if they want it. Happy Taurus season. Any Tauruses? They're all doing Broad Street or at home in bed. I'm really excited that next weekend we have a lot going on. Bazi Basics, a Chinese cosmology and astrology workshop with Alice Sparkly Cat and NB Zhang. I believe this is going to be a combination of breath work and Qigong and Bazi Basics. Alice Sparkly Cat is probably my favorite person that I follow on Instagram, and I just get so much from the wisdom that they share through their particular astrological perspective. Truly brilliant, and so much so, it's such an honor that they're doing a workshop here. And please come, because I want it to go through. I want it to happen. And if you have other plans, I would encourage you to change your plans so that you come. And if you have to go through all that, I offer you a money back guarantee. Like if you're not satisfied with your change of plans, like you can have your money back, I promise. And if you have Instagram, follow them, Alice Sparkly Cat, cat with a K. And if you don't have Instagram, ask a friend who does and like scroll their stuff. It's really good. Kids Yoga Fun Night with Sarah on Saturday, May 11th, 5:30 to 8. So Alice Sparkly Cat is Saturday, May 11th, 1 to 3, and Kids Yoga Fun Night with Sarah is Saturday, May 11th from 5:30 to 8 p.m. And then in this class next Sunday, we're doing a fundraiser. So when you go to sign up, you have to kind of sign up like a workshop, but please note that you can put in any amount to take class from 0 to as much as you want. And all of that money is going to Kinder USA. And you can learn more about Kinder USA. We'll raise money throughout May. We'll have an information session with Sama, who is a member of the studio for a long time, on Friday, May 24th from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. It's to raise money for children and mother figures in Gaza for just food and medical supplies and just like all of everything that is so unbearable going on in the world aside. This is an organization that was sending food and supplies into this area before October, and whenever this can finally end and the hostages are home and we can move forward on like whatever comes after war, there will still be a need for food and medical supplies. And they work globally, but Sama, who's a long time, again, community member, whose recent ancestors are from areas in Israel, and she's Palestinian. She's been working with this organization for a long time. And I hope we can raise a lot of money. It's $1,200 to get a truck in from Egypt before it's even loaded. And they've been successful in getting insulin in, and that's profound direct impact. So sign up for a class, give what you can, give what you want, come either way. And then if anyone else wants to donate, we're going to be matching donations up to $1,000. I think it's $5,000 to get someone out. So just for context. It's Sunday, next week, Mother's Day. And I think we historically always do a Mother's Day fundraiser. We've done like Maternity Care Coalition and HIAS. Is that how you say that? HIAS, HIAS. And yeah, doing fundraisers on Mother's Day helps me with my own loaded mother shit. So, welcome to those contemplations too. And yoga's been such an incredible resource and sort of place for me to find healing in terms to my own mother stuff. And Three Queens Yoga is named for the stories and the beings in the yoga tradition that are the great mothers. And it's this idea that they are a voice that resides in every single one of us. The voice of the great mother resides alongside the voice of the great teacher in every heart, And so much of how we practice and why we practice is in order to attune to these instincts and intuitions within each of us so that they can be known and felt and heard, and they can inform our sort of higher aspirations. Does that make sense? It's why I practice, because I needed that voice. I didn't get it from the outside, anyone else. So we'll celebrate the voice of the great mother within the heart next week as well. Do you have any announcements? No. Do y'all have any announcements? Okay. So here we go. There's some hamstring stuff going on in the room, so we're going to do a lot of butt squeezing today.
I have a quick question. If you can't attend the class but still want to contribute to the matching fundraiser, is there like a link?
So there will be QR codes throughout the studio. Hopefully those will go up this week and they'll be up there through the month. And then the idea, thank you for asking. You could either Venmo us directly and say that's what it's for and we will match it. Or if you want your own, like tax write-off, you can screenshot your contribution and we'll match it. So the goal is class has not been selling out, but if we sell out, I'm hoping that the class does $1,000 and then that we as a community might be able to do another $2,000. And then also just while we're at it, if you have organizations that you're part of that have fundraising efforts, bring them to us. I personally am happy to do fundraiser classes. I love seeing what we can do as a community to create impact, and every little bit helps. Just know that, when $5 becomes $10 and $10 becomes $20, it does something. Money is power, time is money, money is power. It's capitalism. So we do what we can, just based on our resources and privilege. Let's take as comfortable a posture as humanly possible. You can find a comfortable seat or recline. I know you feel the thermostat on. It's on both air conditioning and heat. Yay, technology, capitalism, technology. So we'll make it cozy at first, and once we warm up to match the heat, the air conditioning will kick on. Isn't that cool? Okay, so happy Taurus season. There's a new moon in Taurus on Tuesday the 7th. And our yoga tradition, our yoga practice is first and foremost an invitation to align with the rest of nature. And that when we consciously, intentionally align with the rest of nature, we create and generate and sustain more feelings of ease and harmony. And so as we come into a new moon cycle in Taurus, this is the most optimal time of year to plant seeds. Think of your best intentions, your deepest desires, your highest aspirations as seeds. And when you plant them at this time, they will bloom into a beautiful garden over the course of the upcoming year. And so this is the time this month to create a stable ground for your own personal happiness, for the fulfillment of your desires and aspirations, and the way in which your own deepest desires and highest aspirations are for the betterment of not just yourself, but for all. That not only you get to enjoy the beauty of your growth, but the ways in which those around you get to benefit and enjoy the beauty of your growth. Imagine that. And so what very specifically and particularly is it that you want to see grow in yourself, in your practice, in your life this year? This is the time for planting. And our physical practices of yoga prepare and optimize the field in which we plant. Your body is the field. What is it that you most, in your heart of hearts, want to see grow? And we plant these seeds and we nurture these seeds in and as the self. We nurture the seeds that we plant with breath, with good, positive thoughts and thinking. Anyone talk to their plants? Yeah. Talk to yourself, to what it is you want to see grow, like that. Align yourself with what it is you want to see grow on every level and in every aspect of your being. We nourish it with breath and good thinking and nutrient density and good company. Invite a slow, deep breath in and a slow, long breath out. On your next breath in, imagine pouring in nourishment and nutrient density and let it filter through your entire being. Sort of pause at the top of the inhalation to absorb the nutrients in your breath. And as you exhale, slowly welcome out, release anything that doesn't serve that which it is you most want to see grow. Let it go along with the carbon dioxide and pause there and maybe push out a little more breath, knowing that that which you let go of could be fertility, fertilization for something outside of you. So make of it an offering, that which you want to let go of. Inhale, slowly, deeply, fully pause, let it percolate and saturate inside of you. And as you exhale, let go of all that doesn't nourish. Align yourself with breath and body and mind and heart and soul and spirit. This is the channel we choose to occupy, we intend to occupy for at least the time we spend together, a reconnection to body and breath and mind and heart and soul and spirit. Body and breath, mind and heart, soul and spirit. And on your next inhalation, you can bring your hands together before your heart in Anjali Mudra, or even let your hands rest over your heart center. It's a gesture of self-reverence that acknowledges and honors the voice of the Great Mother, never further than your heart which is never further than your breath. And a gesture that places this aspect of ourselves, our instincts, our intuition, our unconditional love and potency before us as a guide for at least the time we spend together. Together, we'll set the tone for our practice today by sharing the voices of our hearts and the sound of an Om. You can always join into the sound or just let it wash over you. Deep breath in. Bow to your heart, keeping that connection inward unwavering. Release the hands, blink open the eyes. So there is such a beauty happening in nature right now. And there's an aspect of Shri, the goddess, the great mother, called effulgence. And Carrie, who's often in class, does our boxes out there. And I just feel the flower boxes or whatever you call them. I'm so bad at that stuff. And they were planted, I don't know, a few weeks ago, if anyone noticed when they changed the stuff in there. I barely noticed that stuff. It's hard for me to stay on the material plane. And then I noticed them and I was like, maybe I should ask Carrie to add more. And then I came back the next week thinking I was gonna ask her if she could add more, and they were just effulgent. They grow. You just gotta give it a chance. It needed 1 week in this sort of environment. And so much about what you want to see grow is first of all, making the effort to plant the seeds and knowing what you want to plant. And this is what Carrie does for a living. She knows what it's going to be in a week and in 2 weeks. And I mean, those winter ones lasted forever somehow, it seemed like. And then, refining the environment. And that's more than just intention. That's everything from how you breathe to the company you keep, right? What do you want to see grow? And how, is the company we're keeping and the way that we're breathing in service to this growth? So let's come onto all fours to start in tabletop position. And when I say company you keep, consider that both extrinsically and intrinsically. I refer to the voices in our heads. I honor the voices in our heads, my heads and your heads. We have a lot of voices and characters and aspects of ourselves. And which of those voices has the most power in and over you? As you exhale, round your back. As you inhale, arch. And maybe this is the time of year that it's time to pass the mic. Exhale, round. Inhale, arch, linking your breath and your movements. And taking the time to notice what you feel and feel what you notice. And even observing the voice that's noticing. Is there a labeling that's going on? I feel this or that. Is there any judgment? These are all aspects of ourselves that we can observe. When you feel ready, let's meet in downward dog. And pedal your feet from side to side. Stretch through the soles of the feet and the backs of the legs. So really setting the environment in ways that inspire growth, even the music that you're listening to, the media that you're consuming. So something that all can be tended to in service to what it is we want to see grow. Float the right leg to the sky, squeeze your butt, flex your foot. Exhale, knee to arm. Same arm, squeeze your butt, big breath in, exhale to plank to dog. Breathe, feel, notice, breath to heart, heart to mind, mind to body. When you're ready on an inhale, float the left leg to the sky. Squeeze your butt, flex the foot. Exhale, knee to left arm. Squeeze the butt. Keep squeezing the butt as you inhale to plank. Exhale to dog. Inhale to float the right leg to the sky. Exhale, catch your lunge. Inhale, reach the arms up. Pull the feet towards each other. So arms can be up or hands on the hips here. As you exhale, lower the back knee down and forward. Inhale, press the knee to the sky, squeeze the butt. Exhale, lower the knee down and forward. Inhale the leg up. Try to just move the back leg, not the front leg. Exhale, lower the knee down. Inhale, squeeze the butt as you press the back thigh to the sky. Push your front foot down and forward as you push your front leg straight. Wrap your front hip back, your left hip forward, squeeze the butt. Exhale, bend the front knee over the ankle. Notice if you want to scooch the back foot back a little bit more to bend the front leg more. Push the front leg straight, squeeze the butt, square the hips. That's front hip back, back hip forward. Exhale, knee over ankle, squeeze the butt. Push the front leg straight, big breath in. Exhale, bend the front leg. Touch the floor, downward facing dog. Notice what you feel what you notice. Maybe subtle, but more space inside, into and through which the light of awareness flows in and on the currents of the breath through you, in you, as you. And then inhale, float the left leg to the sky, follow your breath. Exhale, catch the lunge. Inhale, reach up. Can stay here, exhale, hands to hips, which is just nice because it'll help you square your hips to give yourself that sort of own manual point of reference. Back hip forward, front hip back. And as you exhale, bottom knee lowers down. Nothing changes in the front leg. Inhale, bottom thigh presses up. Exhale, bottom knee lowers. Inhale, lift. Notice if you're lifting and lowering, try to keep the front leg steady as you lower the back knee and then press the back thigh to the sky. Keep the hips square. Push the front leg straight, squeeze the butt. Think front sitting bone to the front heel. Push your heel down and forward. As you exhale, bend the leg, front leg. Nothing changes in the back leg. Inhale, push straight. Exhale, front knee over the ankle. Maybe scooch the back foot back. Push the front leg straight, squeeze the butt. Exhale, knee over the ankle. Touch the floor. Downward facing dog. Inhale to plank, shoulders over wrists. So if you had to scoot your feet back or walk your hands forward, the dog pose was too short. Squeeze your butt cheeks, hug your feet towards each other. Keep that as you push through the arms to lift the hips up and back. Does that feel different? Inhale to float the right leg to the sky. Exhale, catch your lunge. Back heel to the earth. Inhale, warrior two. Now, as you pull your feet towards each other to engage your legs, feel that engagement come from the feet up the legs, all the way up into the hips and the butt. Even draw from the fingertips into the upper back. And as you reach straight back through your left fingertips, bend the front leg deeper. Squeeze the front heel in, guide the front knee open, and push your front heel down and forward as the top of the front thigh descends. Push the front heel down, in, forward. Top of the front thigh descends. Forearm to thigh, sweep the left arm overhead. Turn those back toes in. And as you push through the back heel, squeeze the back butt cheek. Guide the front knee open. One more breath. Belly breathing. That means inhale, feel your belly expand. Exhale, feel your belly soften. Inhale for warrior two. Reach back, bend deeper. Exhale, forearm to thigh, left arm overhead. Good news, left fingertips to the floor. Spin the back heel up. Turn the right arm to the sky. Push the right heel down and forward and peel that right hip crease back. And as you draw the right hip crease back, push the front heel down and forward. Lift the back thigh higher and squeeze the left butt cheek. Inhale to untwist. Exhale to downward dog. On the inhale, float the left leg to the sky. Exhale, catch your lunge. Back heel to the earth. Inhale for warrior two. Take a moment to pause. Feel both feet on the ground. Find your breath. As you inhale, linking breath and action, pull the feet towards each other. So that's like good Taurus spirit. You draw the stability of the earth up the legs, and you feel your legs get earthier when you pull the feet towards each other. You stabilize yourself, and then reach back through the back arm, straight back, and bend the front leg deeper. So you create stability, integrity, and then you feed that into the opening you want to create. Push through the front heel, squeeze the front heel in, guide the front knee open, and bend the front leg deeper. Left forearm to left thigh, sweep the right arm overhead. You can use the left arm to guide that left knee open, and as you push the left heel down and forward, let the top of the left thigh descend. As you push your back heel down and back, squeeze the butt cheek, and then let the chest turn towards the sky like the way the sunflowers turn towards the sun. Change nothing, just inhale, warrior two, reach back, bend deeper, push into your front foot, reach back through your back fingertips, forearm to thigh, right arm overhead, one big belly breath in here. And on the exhale, pass through lunge, downward dog. Inhale to plank, squeeze the butt. Oh, sorry, you're right. We're in the lunge, left leg is forward, left arm to the sky. Thank you. Twisted lunge. Press the left heel down and forward. Tack the left hip crease back. Press the back thigh to the sky. Squeeze the right butt cheek and lean back on the shoulder blades. Belly breath. The back thigh lifts, the front thigh descends. Inhale to untwist. Exhale to downward dog. Inhale to plank, squeeze your butt. Lower the knees, bend the elbows, the bare minimum to bring your navel towards the floor, towards your thumbs. Point the feet, claw the fingertips back, cobra pose. Hug the heels together, press the toenails down, squeeze your butt, press the inner edges of the hands down and back, squeeze your butt, downward dog, squeeze your butt. Walk your hands towards your feet. Bend the legs, elbows come to thighs. Anchor through the heels and just check to see that the knees and toes point straight ahead. And with the knees and toes pointing straight ahead, we want to take the buttock flesh towards the heels and the heart forward and up. Reach the biceps to the ears. Think ears back, biceps back. Exhale, sitting bones to the heels. Inhale, stand tall. Exhale, hands to heart. Close your eyes. Find the breath. Feel both feet on the ground. The unconditional support of gravity is the lap of Mother Earth. It is what she is made of, unconditional support. You're being held. Feel it in each foot. And draw it up the legs, into the hips, into the pelvis. From the depth of your being, your ground of being, root through your legs 12 inches into the earth. Find the rhythmic beating of your heart, the voice of the great mother always present. Let it be felt. Release the hands. Inhale, reach forward and up. Exhale, bend the legs, fingertips graze the earth. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, sitting bones to heels. Inhale, stand tall, squeeze the butt. Exhale, hands to heart. Release the hands 2 more times. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bend the legs, fingertips graze the earth. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, sit deep. Inhale, stand tall, thighs back, squeeze the butt. Exhale, hands to heart. 1 more time. Release the hands. Inhale, follow your breath. Rise up. Exhale, touch the ground. Inhale, reach high. Exhale, sit low. Inhale, stand tall, thighs back, sitting bones down. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bend the legs, fingertips touch the earth. Walk your fingertips forward. Lean into your fingertips and push your thigh bones back as you reach the heart forward. If you're in the back of the room, you might have to scooch forward. Float the right leg straight up and back. You can bring your hands up to blocks. Is that a Browns shirt? Yeah, hands on blocks. I know that from the NFL matching game that I used to play with my son, because I don't know sports. Okay, so you don't have to lift that back leg super high. Just lift the back foot off the floor, flex the foot. Hands can be to the floor or blocks. Left knee and toes point straight ahead. Put a little bend in your left leg. Bring your left hand to your left hip and tack it back. And now rather than pressing your left knee back, press your left thigh bone back and squeeze the left butt cheek. Okay, now floint your back foot. That means point the foot, spread the toes. Wrap your right hip point towards the earth and lift your inner thigh to the sky. You'll feel the right butt cheek turn on, yeah? Now as you exhale, you're gonna bend the standing leg. Keep the inner back thigh lifting. And rather than pressing the left knee back, press the left thigh bone back, squeeze the left butt cheek. Lift the inner seam of the back leg 1 inch. Ugh. Change nothing there. Bend the standing leg. And rather than pressing the left knee back, press the left thigh bone back. Squeeze the left butt cheek, lift the inner back thigh 1 inch. Right foot meets the left foot. Fold. As you inhale, get long through the spine, lean into your fingertips, lean into your blocks. Float the left leg back and up. Doesn't have to be super high. Flex the foot. Then you're going to micro bend the standing leg. See that the right knee and toes point straight ahead. Climb right hand to right hip and pull it back. And then we're going to straighten the front leg from the knee, okay, by pressing the right thigh bone back. So we're engaging the hamstrings. Now floint the left foot, squeeze the left butt cheek, wrap the left hip towards the ground, lower the back leg a little bit, and now lift it from the inseam as high as you can. You'll feel the butt cheek turn on, yeah? Keep that, bend the right leg. So you bend from the knee, but you're straightening from the thigh bone, pushing back. Lift the inner back thigh 1 inch. Bend the standing leg. Straighten by pressing the right thigh bone back. Lift the inner back thigh 1 inch. Bend the front leg. Tack the outer right hip crease back. Press the right thigh bone back. Push into the blocks. Lift the left thigh 2 inches. Exhale, release. Walk your blocks forward on their lowest height. And walk the feet back. Bend your knees towards the earth. Take your pubic bone back so your sitting bones lift and spread. Can you feel that? And you get more arch in the low back. Sitting bones lift and spread, knees towards the earth. Now the tailbone's going to lengthen towards the space between the knees as you push through the arms, angle the hips back. The pubic bones moving back, the sitting bones and tailbone is rooting down. Press your thigh bones back into your hamstrings and anchor your heels towards the earth. So that's the key to the low back. Lower your knees for just a sec. So the legs govern the low back. And a lot of times, if your back is bothering you, you think you want to like do a forward bend, because a lot of times when the low back bothers you, it's because of tight hamstrings. So there's something that the body goes intuitively, I'm going to go like this. It's bad. That voice inside is misleading you, misguiding you. So actually, when we go to stretch the hamstrings, what happens is we stretch at the attachment rather than the belly of the muscle. And then a lot of times in yoga nowadays, you end up with a hamstring attachment injury. And those are super annoying because they take a long time to heal. So when we stretch the hamstrings, we want to make sure we're getting the belly of the muscle. We want to engage the belly of the muscle and then stretch the belly of the muscle, not up here. And then keeping that, we want to get traction in the low back. It's called curve and then length. I'm just going to be demonstrative for a sec. So the lordotic curve is this way, pubic bone going back, anterior tilt. This is too much, but it creates an opening in the pelvic floor, which gives you access to this incredible ground of being. There's like not a lot of factual information yet about the complexity of the pelvic floor muscles, but when you take the pubic bone back, you gain access to the pelvic floor. And into that space, you want to lengthen, not scoop, lengthen the sitting bones and tailbone down, which will bring the pelvis into a more engaged neutral and creates traction in the lower back. So a lot of times we're too much this way, posterior tilt, thigh bones forward, pelvic floor narrowing, diminished space for all of this internal visceral organs, or we're too much this way. A lot of compression in the middle back here. We want to go anterior tilt to open up the base of the pelvis, into that space, lengthen, and now you have a lumbar curve with traction, length. Okay? So I'm gonna talk you through it again. Bring your hands onto blocks. I just find that helps a little bit. You can ditch the blocks if they're not serving you. Walk your knees back. We'll come into downward dog. Let's do that. And then lift the heels and lower the knees almost to the floor. Take your pubic bone back. Feel the sitting bones lift and spread. Feel that space between the sitting bones. Push into the blocks. Into that space, lengthen the tailbone, the sitting bones towards the heels, towards the earth. So now you have curve and lengthen the low back. Now take your thigh bones back into your hamstrings. The thigh bones will lift up more than back. And then keeping that, anchor your tailbone and heels towards the earth. Does that feel different? Breathe, feel, notice. And on an exhale, when you're ready, lower down. I just want to check in. That's down dog. Any difference, any changes? Okay. Hands to the blocks. We'll meet in downward dog. Find your breath. Walk your blocks towards your feet. Bend your legs and climb your elbows onto your thighs. Bend your legs a lot, as much as you can. And it's okay to let the front of the hips, pelvis, belly rest on your thighs for a moment here. Bring your hands to your outer shins, press in. And as you brace the shins in, press the inner knees and thighs apart. Can you feel space between your sitting bones? Okay, take your pubic bone back, your navel forward and up. And now into that space, anchor the sitting bones, the buttock flesh, the tailbone down. Do you feel the front of the pelvis lift? Okay, keep that, reach the arms up. Think pubic bone back, feel the curve in the low back, tailbone, sitting bones down, feel the length. Inhale, stand tall. Whew. Exhale, hands to heart. So you feel it in your legs, and the legs govern the low back. Let's take a wide stance facing the brick wall. Turn to face the brick wall and take your feet wide apart. Have your blocks where you can reach. Will you hop on the? And when you extend your arms to the sides, you want your ankles wrist width apart. So maybe take your feet a smidge wider. We're going to bring the hands to the hips. Turn your right foot out 90 degrees, so you're turning towards the back of your mat, and bend the knee to square. And notice what you feel and feel what you notice. We're going to bring the hands to the floor in front of us, to the floor or blocks. And when you fold forward, can you feel how the groins go back, the butt goes back a little bit? Pull the feet towards each other. And here with the hands on the floor, same action. Can you take your pubic bone back, stick your butt out, feel the pelvic floor open, and into that space, anchor the sitting bones down. Can you feel that? Pull the feet towards each other. Change nothing. Just left elbow to left thigh, right arm overhead. You can also bring the right hand to the hip if you want. Front knee directly over the ankle. And now here, can you go pubic bone back, sitting bones down, turn open. And one more breath. Inhale, pubic bone back, groins back, inseams back. Exhale, tailbone, sitting bones down, push through the legs, turn open. Turn your top palm to the sky. Inhale, up and back. Push the front leg straight. Turn the right toes in, hands to the hips. Turn your front toes out. Questions, comments, revelation, satori? Nothing. We got nothing. Bend the front knee over the ankle. Then even here, like, can you feel pubic bone back, sitting bones down? Like, not that much. A little bit. If you're like a dance professor, you can feel that. You can walk your hands forward on the floor. I like to call this sort of like downward facing warrior or a warrior dog. I guess that's got a nicer tone. Front knee directly over the ankle. So now when you hinge forward, can you take your pubic bone back? You feel it a little bit more there in the forward fold. Pubic bone back into that space, tailbone, sitting bones down. Squeeze the front heel in, guide the front knee open. You can stay right here if this feels better on your lower back. Forearm to thigh. Sweep the left arm overhead. Try to change nothing. You can always bring the left hand to the waist, especially if it's icky in your shoulder or neck. But here we want to go pubic bone back, sitting bone, tailbones down, press the front knee open. Pubic bone back as you inhale, and then sitting bones extend to the ground as you exhale, lean back, turn open. One more breath. Left palm to the sky on the inhale, reach up and back. Push the front leg straight. Turn the left toes in, turn the right toes out. Triangle, hips down, forward fold, hips up. Like wide-legged forward fold, but your right foot's turned out 90 degrees. How we like that. If needed, bring your hands to blocks and even like walk it forward more. And as you inhale, can you press the pubic bone back, little bend in the front leg. As you exhale, think tailbone, sitting bones down, squeeze the front heel, guide the inner knee open. Are we still friends? It's subtle. Inhale, pubic bone back, squeeze the butt as you exhale, sitting bones down through the heels. Let's go like this. Turn the right toes in, turn the left toes out. You gotta bend the left leg probably to get the toes out. And now push the front leg straight-ish. You can have hands to the floor or blocks. Press more through the inner edges of the feet. Press the inner heels out. Send the pubic bone back. And then as you exhale, think tailbone, sitting bones down. Hug the outer heels in. Linking breath and action. Inhale sends the pubic bone back. You don't want to lose that action. So when you anchor through the tailbone, when you lengthen down through the sitting bones, you don't want that to override the space and the curve that you just created. It's like a dynamic, semi-balanced tension of opposites. It's a conflict that we we embrace and embody. And then we'll bend through the front leg, turn through lunge, take it back to downward dog. So like the bad news is that's kind of hard. The good news is it's the same in every pose. It doesn't change. So every pose is the practice of finding that dynamic tension of opposites. Inhale to plank. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana, or lower to the ground in the style of you. Beautiful. Inhale for cobra, cobra dog, or up dog if you feel ready. Find your breath. Travel with an exhale to downward dog. On the inhale, float the right leg to the sky. On an exhale, slowly, lightly step through to lunge. Bring your hands to blocks inside the front foot. Lower the back knee. Pad with a blanket if and as needed. Turn that off. I don't know why that's so, it's warm, right? Okay. Yeah. Thought so. Okay. Press the back knee down and forward. Press the front foot down and forward. That's not how I usually say it. Get the front knee directly over the ankle so as to not strain the knee. And then bending the back leg with your left hand, find your left foot. You can keep the right hand to the block inside the right foot, or totally optional, bring your right hand to your right thigh. Press the back knee down and forward. Pubic bone back. And when the pubic bone goes back, it brings the top of the back thigh towards the back heel. Then keeping that, bend the front leg deeper, think top of the front thigh, front sitting bone towards the front heel. Push the front heel down and forward to rise up and back, maybe right arm to the sky. And 3 of the deepest, fullest belly breaths that require the least amount of effort. Inhale to activate your ground, your base of being, to draw energy from the earth up the legs into the hips. And then from the depth of your being, as you exhale, ground, root down through the legs to rise up, rebound up through the crown, the right elbow crease, every single right fingertip, like with effulgence. Exhale, touch the ground, downward dog. On the inhale, float the left leg to the sky. Exhale, catch your lunge. Lower the back knee down. Bring your blocks high inside your front leg. Press the back knee down and forward. So when you do that action, you engage the hamstrings before bending the back leg, and with the right hand, find the right foot. Press the right knee down, drag the right knee forward. You might have to scooch your front foot and your blocks back to shorten your stance here to help you get the top of the back thigh back. So you're actually shortening the distance between your right butt cheek and the heel. So pubic bone back is going to take the top of the back thigh towards the back heel. Yes, 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 way more. So Melissa gets unstable because the stance is just a little long. So you carefully, Camden too, scoot your front foot back to take the top of your back thigh back. Yes. Top of the back thigh back, pubic bone back. Keep that, keep it as the top of the front thigh descends. Push through your front heel, squeeze through your front butt cheek. Maybe left arm to the sky, totally optional. But you press the back knee down, drag the back knee forward, and root the top of the thigh towards the heel. And then gently, gently release. It tends to be spring-loaded. Downward dog. Yeah. It's I think the technical term is deep shit. Inhale to plank. Exhale, slowly lower. Inhale for cobra, cobra dog or up dog. Press the feet down, hug the butt cheeks, hug the shoulder blades, press the hands down and back. Exhale to your belly. You can make a pillow with your hands and just notice what you notice, feel what you feel, like particularly in the realm of warmth or sweat. In the beautiful way in which the body is wired to breathe and sweat. Sweat is the elimination process. It's so cleansing. If your head is turned to one side, you can turn it to the other. Okay, let's prop up on the forearms. Prop yourself up on your forearms. I call it like slumber party pose. I don't know why. Just think of it that way. There must be an association in there. Stretch back through your legs and press the tops of the feet down and try to wriggle to sort of get more to the outer edges of the fronts of the thighs. Does that make sense? So if you get more to the outer edges of the fronts of the thighs, you sort of gather up the inner thighs. Press the tops of the feet down so much you feel the knees and thighs lift. And then bend your right leg and with your right hand find your right foot. Notice if you lost any groundedness through the left leg, press the top of the left foot down and squeeze the left heel in and squeeze the left butt cheek. And as you press the left foot down, can you feel the left thigh lift? We want to keep that as we ground the tailbone towards the earth and kick your right foot back into your right hand for a shoulder stretch. Activate your right foot, spread the toes, kick the right foot back, knee down. Gently release. Stretch back through the legs, get more weight on the outer edges of the fronts of the thighs. Press the tops of the feet down so much the knees and thighs lift, and then anchor your tailbone to the earth. Bend the left leg, press the left knee down, and with the left hand, reach for the left foot. You can start with a thigh stretch, inner heel to outer hip. Activate that left foot. So the left foot's not in Shavasana yet. Activate the right foot. Press the right foot down. Try not to let the right foot uproot. And as you root through the right foot, the right toenails, the right knee and thigh lifts. Squeeze the butt and kick your foot back into your hands. Keep pressing and rooting through the right foot as you kick the left foot back and let the left leg pull the left shoulder into a shoulder stretch. Does that make sense? Kick your left foot back. Yes. And release. Okay. Rest your forehead on the earth. Bend both legs. Reach back for your ankles or feet. And hug the knees together and press the knees down. And as you press the knees down, squeeze your butt cheeks. Draw your shoulders up and back so the buttocks hug the midline, the buttocks hug the crack, the shoulder blades hug the midline. Inhale to hug the midline. Exhale, kick your feet into your hands to lift the chest. Inhale, hug the knees together. Exhale, kick your feet back. 2 more breaths like that. Squeeze your butt, anchor your tailbone down, kick your feet back with the exhales, and rest. Make a pillow with your hands and turn your head to one side. So we got the mechanics of that. Any questions? Enjoy your breath. And the thing I love about this pose is, do you notice the rhythmic beating of your heart? I feel like it gives the microphone to the voice of the Great Mother, and that connection to the heart, at least in like, when I think about my journey over the years in yoga, it was like I connected to the heart, but it took a long time to understand how to like decipher its messages, how to follow its callings. It's not an intellectual language, the voice of the heart. They're urges. that, by the way, are often counterintuitive. And then the mind will get really dominant in those instances. Like, anyone have that experience? And the mind tries to intervene. Following the calls of your heart is attuning to the voice of the Great Mother. It requires deep listening and deep trust and faith in yourself, in your heart, in your potential. So we're going to do this one again to kind of invoke that connection to the heart there. But the key to this round is going to be the biomechanics of the pose, the knowing that there's the repose that's coming where we get that sort of reflection in the heart. But the hardest part in this pose is the belly breathing. So even try not to be at your extreme at all, definitely not at first, and connect to the breath. As you inhale, your belly expands and you hug your knees together, and as you exhale, the belly softens and you kick your feet back. We do this in bridge pose all the time, but it's a very different relationship to gravity here. So when you're ready, we're going to bend the legs, activate the feet, and reach back for your ankles or feet. And the lower body, the base of our being, tends to get really uprooted here. So before you even come up, can you press your knees down? Your knees are your roots. Press your knees down and in. Draw your shoulder blades towards each other. You can lift up a little, find your breath. Big belly breath in. As you exhale, kick your feet into your hands or your ankles. Notice if the knees came up. Big belly breath in. Exhale, tailbone to earth, feet kick back. Belly breath in. Hug the knees towards each other. As you exhale, press the feet back, the knees down. One more belly breath. And rest. It's okay to touch, Lisa? Is it okay to touch? Yeah. Okay. Notice the rhythmic beating of your heart. Is it okay to touch? You've been asking about the low back like the past 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. Okay. Is that okay? Turn your head to the other side if it's turned to one side. And just be in the presence of the rhythmic beating of your heart. Just witness, just connect, and slow down the beginning of each side of each breath. And I love that intimacy between breath and heart, that when you're in the rhythmic beating of your heart and you turn to the breath and you slow the breath down, notice the effects it has on the rhythm, the beating of your heart. There's an intimacy there between breath and heart. I'm going to roll onto the back when you're ready and place a block between the inner thighs. Have your feet on the mat, hips width apart, directly under the knees. And this is what we just did on the floor. Hug the block more with the fronts of your inseams. Can you feel that? And so that is a similar action to when we're laying on our belly and we try to get the outer thighs more to the floor. And when you hug the block more with the fronts of the inseams, it helps to take your pubic bone back. Can you take your pubic bone back? That means like towards the floor between the heels, and you'll get more low back curve, more lifting up and curvature of the lower back. And you find and feel like as much curve as you can there. The opposite way, Shoshi, the opposite way, Matt. Take your pubic bone towards the floor this way. And then the sitting bones get more grounded and the low back gets more curvy. And then into that space, Lengthen your tailbone towards the block, and you lengthen the curve without losing it. Bend the elbows, press the elbows down, press the center back of the skull down, stand through the feet to lift the hips up. And as the hips lift, notice if the block pushed forward, more to the backs of the inseams. Try to hold the block more with the fronts of the inseams. Try taking the block wider. Pretty tall. Yeah, you okay? And you can take your feet a little wider if you want. Is it okay to manually assist? Okay. Walk your feet that way. More. There. Now press your feet down and forward. Yes. Okay. Can I stand over you? Okay. There we go. Now as you hug the block with the fronts of the inseams, link breath and action. Inhale, hug the block, rest your hands on your belly, feel the belly expand. And as you exhale, feel the belly soften, push your feet down and forward. This is the same thing we just did in bow pose. Again, inhale, hug the block, belly breath. Exhale, belly softens, push your feet down and forward. Nice, Jaya. One more breath like that. And on the exhale, release. Pause, feel, notice the unconditional supportive gravity. Like just really soften into the unconditional support of Mother Earth, where we are all connected, globally, planetarily. Feel the weight of the connection, the support of the connection to all that is. Any questions there? Any low back stuff, knee stuff, neck stuff? No stuff? Your outer knee? Try taking your feet a little wider, but I'll come over and look. Anyone else having outer knee stuff? Okay. We're gonna hug the block between the thighs. You can walk your feet this way towards the windows. Yep, a little bit more. There you go. Find your breath. Let's just start in the support of the earth. Wriggle the shoulder blades together. So you feel the shoulder blades come together on the upper back. And when I say heart, I'm referring to the heart center. When I'm saying heart center, I'm referring to an energy center in the center of your chest, slightly to the right of the physical heart. Slightly to the right, in the very center. And when you draw the shoulder blades together, you create like a cradle that supports that energy, the source of supreme love, the voice of the Great Mother, the source of divine wisdom, the true teacher within. Press the elbows down, and can you feel a little bit more engagement, connection to that upper back area, that cradle of support. Press the center back of the skull down and stand through your feet to lift the hips up. And the palms can come to rest anywhere on the midline, anywhere on the belly. And as you inhale, feel an inner expansion. Feel the breath in the palms of your hands. As you exhale, a softening. Hug the block. Is there a strain there, Maury? No. Okay. And as you hug the block, squeeze the block, extend the right leg just straight out, not up, just out. Flex the foot. Hug the block with the fronts of the inseams, and hug the block balanced from side to side through the thighs. As you exhale, lower the tush a tiny bit. Good. Push through your standing leg. Yes. And release by popular demand. I guess I should have warned you. You can come all the way out. That's fair. I should have warned you. So we're going to get into the butt there. Are we ready for the second side? Questions? Matt, maybe now you might want to take the block more narrow if you felt wobbly there. Maybe bring the block closer, a little closer to your knees. It doesn't feel good if it's at the knees, but like more to the lower thighs. Try that. Walk your feet in a little bit more towards your butt cheeks. Heels towards your butt cheeks. That's what I mean by in. Okay, wriggle the shoulder blades together. Press the elbows down. Stand through your feet to lift your hips up. Wriggle the shoulder blades together. Find your breath. As you inhale, hug the block. As you exhale, extend through the left leg. Flex the left foot, hug the block evenly from side to side. That's great, Maury. And as you exhale, tush is going for a earth smooch. Good. Breath there, and then exhale, push through your right foot down and forward to lift up. Exhale, lower down all the way. Foot to the floor, butt to the floor. Does that make more sense now? Can we do reps? Yeah. I'm also perfectly happy with isometric, like just holding it as long as you're breathing. So just always remember, please, like in every yoga practice, it's your practice and and like listen to your body. Again, because those voices, particular voices in particular, tend to be very dominant, very loud. And so the physical practice, I find an alignment-based physical practice is so wonderful for turning down the volume on the voices in the head and attuning us to the bodies. So listen to your body. And sometimes that requires coming completely out of a pose. Sometimes it's backing it up. Sometimes it's giving it a little push. But fluency in yoga is really, I think, deep listening in order to hear the heart. We'll have a block between the thighs, more towards the knees will be helpful. Have your feet under your knees a little closer to your butt cheeks. Wriggle the shoulder blades together. Press the elbows down, press the center back of the skull down. Send the pubic bone towards the earth so that the low back curves in and up, away from the floor. And then without flattening the curve, we lengthen the curve by sending the tailbone towards the block. Can you feel that? Traction. And now activate the legs, stand through the feet to lift the hips up. Notice if the chin just dropped, even here, like hug the block, don't go full blast, lower the hips down a little bit. Does the chin lift? Lift the hips up, does the chin drop? Now lower the hips down, let the chin lift, throat open, change nothing in the head as you lift the hips. Yes! You can stay right there, hug the block, breathe, option, extend the right leg straight. You can stay right here, hugging the block, breathing, optional, exhale, lower tush to the floor, breathe in at the base, exhale, push through the left foot to rise up, breathe in at the top. Move on the exhale, think pubic bone towards the floor, breathe in, exhale, tailbone to the sky. Notice if the chin is nodding, change nothing in the head as you lower the hips down, breathe in, change nothing in the head as you lift the hips up, exhale. And rest, foot down, hips down. Rest, recover, notice what you feel what you notice. How much of your upper back? Your shoulder blades and the center back of your skull and no vertebra. Is anyone finding that the vertebrae are on the floor? Because if so, call me over. I give a really good adjustment there, right, Matt? Was that a good one? Yeah. If you want the adjustment, call me over. Even if you think you don't need it, but you like it, like capitalize on Broad Street today. You chose to be here, investing in the longevity of your body. No offense, runners. No, cardio is so good for your heart too. I know. I'm really bad on that one. Yoga for life. So place the block. Where's the time go? We're gonna do the second side, last side. So like be mindful of how the head just like does whatever the fuck it wants. We live under the domination of the head. And it's so great to have the faculty of the mind and intellectual capacity. This is absolutely divine, there's no question. It's just that the dynamic can be a little out of control. It tends to dominate the other voices of our being, the other aspects of our being. So press the center back of the skull down, hug the block, send the pubic bone towards the floor. Notice if the chin drops, open the throat. Send the tailbone towards the block. Stand through the feet to lift the hips up. And just a little exploration here, just to notice the tendency. Lower the hips towards the floor. Does the chin drop? Lift the hips towards the sky. Does the chin lift? Now just bring like the orbits of the eyes and the chin level so the throat is open. Press the center back of the skull down, and without letting the head nod, can you lower your hips towards the floor, hug the block, and lift your hips towards the sky? Good. Now hug the block. Optional, you could be right here, extend through the left leg. Hug the block. Jaya, hug more with the right leg a little bit. Yes. And you can stay right here breathing, or again, optional, move on the exhale, lower the hips towards the floor. Try not to nod the head. Breathe in. Exhale, push the right foot down and forward to lift the hips up. Breathe in, hug the block. Exhale, lower. Breathe in, hug the block. Good. Exhale, higher. Breathe in, hug the block. Again, Jaya, hug with the right leg. Yes. And rest. We still friends? Put the block to the side. Take your feet knees bent, feet about as wide as the mat, and let the knees rest against each other at the midline. Let both knees fall gently to the right, and place the outer edge of the right foot on top of the left thigh. Right foot on top of the left thigh. You got it. And at first, just let the head be in neutral. Press the center back of the skull down. Gently lift the chin to open the throat, and then gently lengthen from the nape of the neck through the crown to lengthen the neck. And press the foot into the thigh and the thigh into the foot. And then as you exhale, just sort of let the head release. Notice it might want to roll to the right, it might want to roll to the left. You can even experiment, let the head roll to the right, and breathe and feel. And let the breath be deep from like as you inhale, take it into your pelvis, below your navel. Can you touch your pubic bone with your inhale? And then can you feel it all the way up underneath your collarbone? Left collarbone. And then exhale, pubic bone to collarbone completely. On the inhale, draw the legs up through center, head to center, neutral. Feet as wide as the mat, uncross, and let both knees fall gently to the left. Try to keep the head right in center, right in neutral. Place the right foot on top of the left thigh. You can bend is this knee okay? Yeah. Okay, you can bend that leg a little bit more. Press foot into leg and leg into foot. And as you press the center back of the skull down, lift the chin a little bit to open the throat. And then lengthen the back of the neck by sort of pulling the skin from the base of the skull towards the crown. And then look for the breath. And can you touch the pubic bone, behind the pubic bone with your inhale, and let it fill all the way up into the right collarbone. And then exhaling from behind the pubic bone all the way up into the collarbone. The breath be as deep and as full as requires the least amount of effort. Inhale to center. Stretch the legs out long, reach the arms overhead. Huge breath in, slow breath out. On the exhale, hug your knees in towards your chest. Wrap your arms around your legs. Okay, we're going to do a little bit of inverting today, like restorative inversion. So I'm going to invite you in a moment to roll to your right, and you can spread out around the room. We have tons of space today, so no need to be in like a spot where there's crap on the walls. But we're going to be efficient in the service of time. Roll to your right side, press through your arms, and bring your mat to a wall space. You can bring all your things. We're going to finish class at the wall. I'm going to be demonstrative. So once you get all your things to the wall, have a look. Up here. And friends at home, hopefully you have wall space. And if not, feel free to make a heart bench or a supported bridge pose. So a bridge pose with a block underneath your hips at whatever height is sort of your maximum. So you would need one block for, and this is available to folks in the room too if you prefer. You would come into bridge pose and place a block on as high a height just underneath the sacrum, so not on the vertebra. The vertebrae are not designed for weight bearing. So this would be the highest, especially for long-legged friends. Medium. You could also do 2 blocks stacked if that feels more stable. So a supported bridge pose. And then everyone else, this is one of my favorite poses. It's called inverted bridge. And we're going to go from inverted bridge to legs up the wall. And you can, if you love legs up the wall, you can stay there for the rest of class. Any variation of legs up the wall that you love. Or I'll have this in legs up the wall for maybe like 1 to 2 minutes at a minimum. And then I'll invite you to sort of push off the wall, roll off the wall, and come into a final relaxation that suits you. But we're going to start. You'll notice I'm on the edge of the mat. I'm on the right edge of my mat with my right hip, and I'm going to scooch my butt to the wall, okay? And then I'm going to roll onto my back, and now I'm in the middle of my mat. So if you start this in the middle of your mat, when you roll onto your back, you might be off your mat or like on the edge of your mat. I did that for years, couldn't figure out why. I have really bad spatial reasoning skills. So it's really key to start on the right edge of your mat. And you'll land in legs up the wall. And you can be here. You don't have to go any further if you don't want. And you can give yourself space between your legs to take pubic bone towards the wall, tailbone towards the sky, and you're in an inverted forward fold L pose. It could be right here. Now my favorite is to bend the legs, the bare minimum to get the feet to the wall. Can you see that? So I'm not going here. I'm sliding the heels down just until I can get the feet to the wall. Bend the elbows to wriggle the shoulder blades together. Take the center back of the skull down so that the throat is open. And now I'm going to energetically pull my feet down and my hips lift up. And I can wriggle the shoulder blades in deeper. And the weight is on the shoulder blades and the center back of the skull, not the neck, not the spine. I can bring hands to hips. I can keep the arms here like we do in bridge pose. You can extend the arms straight. You can interlace the hands. You're in an inverted bridge pose. If you feel like you're on your spine, only be here for like 3 to 5 breaths and then just back it out to legs up the wall. And as long as you feel that there's no weight on any of your vertebra, you're welcome to extend one or both legs here for shoulder stand. And then in the spirit of preparing the field, again, as long as there is 0 weight on any shoulder blades, some of you are welcome to extend the legs overhead for plow pose. I almost never teach this pose. It's dicey. You could take the feet wider, bend the legs, and check it out. Pubic bone to the sky, tailbone to the sky. And it takes you in so much deeper when you can get that pubic bone that way, tailbone that way. The voice should be clear, hands to the hips to come back up, feet to the wall, boop, tush to the floor. Call me over if you're not sure or want help or are confused about the vertebra in your neck and upper back, and I will talk you through it. So there are a lot of options here. Again, I'll talk you through it. I'm going to lower the lights for y'all. You're going to come onto the right edge of your mat with your right hip, scoot your tushy to the wall, so you're like on your side, and then roll onto your back. By the way, I'm plow pose because it's springtime and like the plows metaphorically prepare the field in which we plant our seeds. Catch my drift? It's metaphor, symbolic. What do you want to see grow? Definitely embrace of embodiment in place of subjugation of embodiment in an environment, in a cultural environment that, it's fucking capitalism. It subjugates the body. The practice is a place you come to reconnect to your pace, to reclaim embodiment as a gift, to dial into breathing embodiment, and to align yourselves in ways that are in service to celebrating the gift of embodiment. Belly breathing, and then just bend your legs the bare minimum to bring the soles of the feet to the wall. Bend the elbows alongside, press the elbows down to draw the whole spine in and up, wriggle the shoulder blades together, and then energetically drag your feet down to lift your hips up. Beautiful. So you're in the supported bridge pose, inverted bridge pose at the wall. This is my favorite way. Push your feet into the wall and drag them down. Yes, to lift your hips up and wriggle the shoulder blades in. And notice, breathe, feel, notice if there's any vertebra on the earth. Just be here briefly and lower the hips back to the ground to bring the weight off of your spine, off of your vertebra. If you feel clearly as though you're on your shoulder blades and skull, center back of the skull and shoulder blades are firmly planted, spine is in and up, you can play with extending one leg or both legs off the wall. And then totally optional, send your pubic bone towards the sky as you bring your feet towards the floor overhead. Careful, careful. Keep the chin slightly lifted, the throat open. You can bend your legs, take your feet wider. It's just like a deep forward fold. So by taking the feet wider and bending the legs, it's going to bring the floor closer. Feet wider, legs bent. And then even here, can you find pubic bone towards the sky, towards the wall you just came away from, and then sitting bones towards the backs of the knees, towards the heels. Breathe as you are, where you are. Dial in, breath to heart, heart to mind, mind to body. And if you're in plow pose, you can start to extend the legs towards the sky. Come back into shoulder stand, feet to the wall, bridge pose, hips to the earth, Viparita Karani, inverted lake pose, like a waterfall, like being watered, being showered. In your heart of hearts, whatever it is you most want to see grow, let it be watered by breath, by the light of awareness. Let the weight of the legs root into the hip sockets. Let the hips release into the earth. Let the head be heavy. And if you feel really comfortable, really content in legs up the wall, you're welcome to stay here. Or in another 2 or 3 breaths, you can bend the legs, Gently roll to one side, either side. Press through the arms. Lift yourself up. And then sort of scoot yourself away from the wall. Add or remove layers, add or remove props, let your hair down. Take as long as you need to prepare yourself for a final rest. And then make of yourself an offering to the altar of the earth, as though you are food. You are fertilization for the ground beneath you, for the earth where we are all connected. Make of yourself the sweetest, most nourishing offering upon the altar of the earth. Let the eyes soften, perhaps close the eyes, a gesture of turning into darkness in order to see more clearly. Look for the breath. And as best you can, let the breath hold your vision. Listen to the breath from bottom to top of the inhale. Listen to the breath from top to bottom of the exhale. Let the sound of the breath become your favorite melody. It is the sound of your life. A tune. And the more you cultivate this deep connection, this intimacy with your breath, the more access you'll have to what lies beneath, what's deeper, the sound of your heart. Your intimacy with your breath leads you to your heart. And together, on your own, at your own pace, let the next 7 rounds of breath hold your vision. What is it in your heart of hearts that you most want to see grow in yourself, in your life, in this world? The planting of these seeds at this time will bloom into the most effulgent garden over the course of the upcoming year. Imagine that. A growth and a beauty that you enjoy, that delights you and uplifts you, and a growth and a beauty that supports and nourishes those in the world around you. Imagine that. The breath ignites the heart. The splendor of the heart informs, illuminates, inspires the mind and the body. And here in this gift of embodiment, let the spirit that you are gently awaken the body that you have in whatever ways feel good, wiggling toes and fingers, stretching through your arms and your legs. If your legs are up the wall, you can bend your knees in towards your chest and give yourself a sweet embrace for a few breaths. And again, if your legs are up the wall, when you're ready, just roll to one side and pause in a fetal position. If you're spread out on the earth, as you stretch through the arms and legs, you can bend your legs and feel both feet on the ground and just take a moment to call yourself down to earth, back to reality. Maybe hug your knees in towards your chest and give yourself the sweetest, most loving embrace. And again, when you're ready, gently roll to one side and pause in a fetal position. So all together now on our sides in a fetal position. This is a posture that symbolizes the pure potential and unlimited possibilities of all new beginnings. As we stretch our practices of yoga into a new moon cycle in Taurus, we're planting new seeds, fresh starts for new growth. When you're ready, push into the earth to lift up into a seated posture with your eyes closed and your hands folded before your heart, an Anjali Mudra. Another gesture, a final gesture of sincere self-reverence and generous self-offering that acknowledges and honors the voice of the Great Mother and places this aspect of ourselves before us as a guide and an offering in all we do, in so doing bringing more love, more support, more tenderness and nourishment to those in the world around us. It's in each of us, it's in all of us. As you bow to your heart, with all my heart, I bow to every one of you. Thank you so much for your practice and your presence. And as always, for all that you are and all that you do every day of this life. Thanks, y'all. Thanks, everyone. So come next Sunday if you're in town, bring your friends, tell everyone about the fundraiser. Come to Alice Barkley Cat, pre-register so we know you're coming, so the workshop is a go. I'm really excited, and yeah, stay tuned. We're gonna be starting the waterfront soon, I believe. That's happening. What else? A lot of good stuff. Bye, friends at home.